Welcome, everybody, to episode 45 of the Ham Podcast, baby. Here we are. It's another wonderful Wednesday, another wonderful week. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. I hope everybody's had a good start to the week so far, right? Here we are, baby. Hump day. It's Wednesday, right? It's all downhill from here, right? The week is supposed to get easier, downhill, and I love it. So once again, we are live here on Twitch and also live on Facebook simultaneously. It's something new that we've been doing for like the last 3 weeks, and I love it, right? I want to thank everybody again for joining us here on Twitch and on Facebook. Thank y'all so much. Well, let's jump in, right? Once again, my boy Mike, right? He's, like I said, he's handling some business. I'm Helmke. You know, Ham usually stands for Helmke and Mike. Right, so if this is your first time joining us, it stands for Helmke and Mike. Unfortunately, Mike's handling some business still. So you know what? I want to make a little change, right? The Ham Podcast, while Mike is out, it's just going to stand for good old fat boy, right? I'm a big boy. I'm a fat boy. So Ham is going to stand for fat boy, all right? I love it, right? So while Mike's here, it's Helmke and Mike. While Mike's gone, the Ham stands for fat boy. Love it, love it. So once again, thank y'all for joining us, episode 45. Hey man, what can I say about this week, right? Last weekend was amazing. I had a great week. UTSA won. That was a very fun game. Got to see that live. Exciting, right? And then, of course, my Cowboys win. Dak is back. A little bit rusty, right? It's expected. We knew that Dak was going to be rusty coming into it. Anybody who thought that he was going to come back in and start slinging the ball and 400 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, hey, we knew what it was, right? We knew there was going to be some rust and he was going to have to shake it off. It was good to see him back. I tell you who else is back, right? And people aren't giving him enough credit right now. Ezekiel Elliott. That man is running for his position, right? Whatever he's doing right now, keep doing it, Zeke. You are looking amazing, sir. I love it. I mean, that was vintage Zeke, watching him hurdle over that guy from the Lions. I mean, he's busting out, right? We're not seeing the 60, 65-yard runs, but hey, we're seeing some good 25-yard runs, 15-yard runs, right? He's moving the chains. Excuse me. He's moving the chains, and I'm loving it. I'm loving the Zeke. And then we sprinkle in some Tony Pollard, man. Right? Thunder and lightning. I'm loving it. Zeke did take a little bit of a hit on that knee. They're calling it a knee contusion. Hopefully he's all right. You know, hopefully he's good to go. Against the Bears, I wouldn't mind sitting him, right? Let Tony run the ball against the Bears. Especially now that the Bears don't have Robert Quinn. Thank you, right? But unfortunately, he goes to the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Today, the Eagles traded for defensive end Robert Quinn. That's a big pickup for the Eagles. I tell you what, man. Eagles are here to do something this year. They're trying to build this year. They're trying to get out there, and they're trying to get to the Super Bowl. Props to them. I don't think it'll happen. I think that, yes, while the Cowboys ran into a buzzsaw a couple weeks ago, Sunday night in Philly, we had our backup quarterback, right? And people were going to say, oh, y'all were cheering him. He was winning 4 games in a row. Yes, but I'm a realist. I went in there knowing that that was going to be the biggest game that he's played in the NFL so far, and it showed. He made mistakes. He threw a couple picks, right? He played out of the norm. The coaches, I mentioned this last time, the coaches weren't calling, you know, the plays that we had been calling. They were out-coached. So I'm looking forward to playing them again later in the season, and this time it's in Dallas. I can't freaking wait. But let's move on, right? I've digressed. So the Cowboys won. I won in both of my fantasy football leagues. Love it, right? One of them is a big league, about 12 teams. I'm in 6th place right now, which is playoff bound. The other one, it's an 8-man league, or 10, I don't remember. But I'm in 2nd place in that one, playoff bound. So as long as I keep making these strides in my fantasy, I'm good, man. And you know what? I won last week without Josh Allen. What does that tell you? My team is doing pretty free. Let me tell you who I started, right? Danny Dimes, baby. New York Giants, Daniel Jones. Started Danny Dimes last week, and it was amazing. He played against, the Giants played the Jaguars, And I just had a feeling. I said, you know what, let me pick this man up off the waivers, right? He was sitting in waivers, so let me pick him up for a week or two. They're playing the Jags. Let me go ahead and start this man this week. And it paid dividends, 31 points from him in my fantasy league. From Danny Dimes. I'll take that shit. I love it. So overall, good weekend. Amazing weekend. Now we got this week happening, right? We got Halloween coming up, right? Some people are throwing Halloween parties this weekend. Some people aren't. Some people don't like Halloween. That's up to you, whatever your preference is. I get it, right? Hey, it is what it is. Me personally, I'm not a huge Halloween fan, right? I'm not one of those that goes all out, decorates, and has 5 different costumes, right? It's not me, but I do like the holiday. I liked it more when my son was younger and going trick-or-treating because I got to take his candy. Win. Every single piece of Reese's was mine. My son probably doesn't know what a Reese's is, till this day. Shit. But love it. So Halloween's coming up, right? Let's jump in, everybody. Let's talk about tonight's show, right? We got a banging show ahead of y'all. First things first, I'm excited. The Indianapolis Colts announced the other day they are moving forward with my boy. I've been talking about it for weeks. Sam Ehlinger, former Longhorn quarterback, now quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts. I am so excited to see Sam Ehlinger make a meaningful start in the NFL. He's played preseason. He's done great in the preseason, won games. Now we get to see him in a meaningful game. And I like it, too, because he's not starting off against one of the best teams in the league, right? His first game, it's going to be against the Washington Commanders. Kind of ease him in, right? Jonathan Taylor's back. I think that's great for the Colts, right? Jonathan Taylor played last week, yes. But I think this is great because not only can Sam Ehlinger throw the ball downfield or check downs, he can run. Right, so now they can develop some type of, little RPO, run pass option, something like that. Teams can't just key in on Jonathan Taylor now. They have to respect Sam Ehlinger's ability to run. And let me tell you something. Not only can he run, but he is a power runner. If you try to tackle him low, he's got these giant thighs on him for a quarterback. And if you try to go high as a safety or a corner on him, he will truck you. Now, there are safeties out there that you don't want to do that against if you're a quarterback, right? We'll stay away from certain safeties. But some of these corners out there, yes, he will truck them. I promise you. So they better be ready. They better respect Sam Ehlinger. Of course, he's pretty much a rookie, right? Yes, second year, but he hasn't played a single start in the NFL. So I expect to see him make some mistakes, right? I expect to see a pick or two. It's expected, right? He's pretty much a rookie. First NFL start ever in the regular season. But I'm excited. I've always kind of been, my second team's always kind of been like the Colts since Peyton's been with them. I'm not going to say I go way back as a Colts fan, but since Peyton came in the league out of Tennessee, I've always been a little bit of a Colts fan behind the Cowboys, and that's always kind of stuck. Even when Peyton left, I was an Andrew Luck fan, so I kind of stayed as the Colts fan, as my second team. And then Andrew Luck retired, and I liked their defense, so I kind of stuck with them still. And here we are, right? Now my boy out of Texas, former Longhorn, Sam Ehlinger, is the captain at the helm, right? He's the quarterback. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do. I'm super excited. I think if he can do what he did with the Longhorns, the Colts' future is bright, right? Because now they got a young quarterback. They got a young running back. They got a very good offensive line, right? I think they were just passing the ball way too much with Matt Ryan. You're talking about 60 passes a game. That's a lot to put on an offensive lineman to ask them to pass 60 times in a game. Of course, man, you think about it, right? A quarterback has a good time for a quarterback to have is about 3.5 seconds. So now you're asking your offensive line to hold 3.5 seconds 60 times in a game. Of course they're not going to be able to do that. I played offensive line. That's difficult, man. It's you're asking a lot to ask even the best offensive line in the league to pass block 60 times in a game. So I think getting down to the run and getting back to it, I mean, you're talking about Quentin Nelson, right? You're talking, I mean, their whole offensive line is just phenomenal. I mean, Nelson being one of the best guards in the league. I think him and Zach Martin are 1-1. They're tied, right? Best guards in the league. So I'm excited to see where the Colts go. They'll be the team I'm cheering for in the AFC. And of course, in the NFC, my Cowboys, they always have my heart. Not sometimes. A lot of times They break my fucking heart. The Cowboys do. I don't remember the last time they actually warmed my heart, suckers. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they can do. I'm excited to see where the Cowboys can go. I'm a little bit nervous though, right? Because right now in a lot of these power rankings in the NFL, they got them ranked fourth, right? And I don't think we're a fourth best team in the league right now. As big of a Cowboys fan as it now, our defense, yes, but we struggle against the run. So what did we do this week? Went and made a trade. We gave the Oakland Raiders some draft picks, a 6th and a 7th for Hankins. This man is 6'4", 350 pounds. He's a run stopper. That is his specialty, right? So now that he can plug up the middle, right? We got somebody who can plug up that middle and give our edge rushers an even better chance than what they've been doing. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with Hankins. He's already said he's ready to play this weekend. He's been playing with Oakland. He's been doing well, right? So he's not out of shape. He's not like been on the couch and we picked him off for waivers. No, he's been doing really well. So I'm excited to see that addition to the Cowboys defense, already good defensive line, right? But I'm curious to see who's going to lose minutes in the middle, right? Is it going to be Gallimore? Right? Is it going to be one of the other guys? For some reason, their name's leaving my mind right now. But I'm curious to see who's going to lose some of those minutes, right? How they're going to manage that. Because Hankins is going to do a good job. I truly believe he will. So I'm excited to see what happens there. All right, so that's a little bit of NFL talk, right? It's great. It's a great season. Let's move on to a little bit of NBA. NBA, right? NBA. Last night, loved it. Klay Thompson, Golden State Warriors, never ejected from a game before in his whole career in the NBA. That stopped last night. Klay Thompson got ejected. I can't show the clip, of course, but him and Devin Booker had been kind of jawing at each other, going back and forth, and then at a certain point, Klay kind of walks up to him, bumps him with his chest, starts talking shit, and Booker kind of keeps walking. The ref tees up Klay. Klay has some words for the ref, and the ref didn't like that, so he gave him a second technical. And then as Klay's walking off the court, he starts to talk shit to the Golden State to the Phoenix Suns bench. And I like it, man. That's old school basketball, right? I was tired of seeing these guys in the NBA. Oh, that's my friend, right? LeBron friends with Chris Paul, and Chris Paul friends with Carmelo Anthony. Great, yeah, y'all can be friends off the court. But on the court, I want to see y'all hurt each other. I want to see y'all trying to beat each other, man. Not shaking hands in the middle of the game and high-fiving and all this nonsense. No. When the hell did you ever see Bird and Magic shake hands during a game? Never. When did you see, Robert Parrish and Bill Laimbeer shake hands during a game? Never. They might have threw some fists at each other, but never shook hands, right? You didn't see Dennis Rodman trying to shake Michael Jordan's hand when he was a Piston, right? When Rodman was a Piston? Never, right? They all respected each other off the court, but none of them were trying to be friends on the court. They were trying to win championships. So now to see this back and to see this happening, I like it. I mean, it brings that excitement. It brings that, hey, the fans, right? Now it's not just the fans kind of cheering for the team. And let me tell you something. Devin Booker, I don't know what it is about Devin Booker, but Klay Thompson talking shit to him. Luka talks shit to him. Luka doesn't like him. Luka Doncic. So there's a few guys in the league that have said they don't like Booker. So I'm curious to see or to know what it is, right? What is it about Devin Booker? Is he just a bitch, right? Is he one of those guys that kind of talk shit under his breath and, right, acts like he's a goody two-shoes? What is it exactly? I'd like to know, right? I think a lot of fans would like to know. So, yeah. But NBA, right? Spurs. Hey, what can I say, man? We lost the first game of the season, and now we're on a 3-game winning streak, right? We just beat Minnesota. We beat Philadelphia in Philadelphia. Minnesota in Minnesota, right? Before that, I forget who we beat the second game of the season, but Spurs are out there. These young men for the Spurs, right? We've got a really young team. And I tell you one thing they're not short of, and that's hustle. That young team is out there running up and down the court, hustling. I mean, they may not be the most experienced. They may not be the biggest team. We're a small team, right? And we're a young team. But man, did we make up for it in speed and hustle and just team continuity. The way they move the ball reminds me of the Spurs when we were winning championships. Now, I'm not saying that this Spurs team is going to go out and win a championship. Not what I'm saying. I feel that we're still missing some pieces before we get to that talk. But I will say the ball movement between them, you can tell that these guys have been working together during the summer, right? They've spent time, during training camp and really honing in on that teamwork, because the ball movement, it's like they know where they're going to be, man. It's magical. And then on the other end, you got somebody like the Lakers, who couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat, man. The Lakers are looking horrible. They can't make a jump shot. 3-pointer, they are struggling. And they continue to shoot these 3-pointers one after another. Russell Westbrook missing all his shots. Anthony Davis missing his 3-pointer. LeBron James airballing, taking a Steph Curry type 3 and airballing it. When you're considered the best player in the NBA, you can't be doing that. You can't be that arrogant to take a deep 3 and then airball it, right? No, you gotta at least hit the rim, brother. Like, come on. But man, let me tell you, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with the Lakers. Some people the word is the Lakers are they're shopping Russ around Russell Westbrook. They don't want him anymore. They're trying to get teams to make a trade. One of the teams mentioned were the Spurs. Please, Spurs, if you're watching this, stay away. Spurs execs, do not trade for Westbrook. We don't need him around our young, talented team. We don't need that kind of attitude in the locker room. We don't need that. Our players, our young team who's good, right, and have good mentalities, we don't need them around that kind of attitude and then pick it up, right? So we definitely don't need Westbrook. So, yeah, Spurs, stay away from that. Please, don't do it, right? Speaking of bad attitudes, where do I start? Kanye West, a.k.a. Ye. He's been all over the news, right? Everywhere. All over these talk shows and these news and social media with his anti-Semitic, comments. His comments about Adidas, right? People are like, Adidas needs to cut Kanye. Kanye comes out on social media talking about, fuck Adidas. I am Adidas. I made Adidas. They're nothing without me. They won't ever cut me. Wrong. Adidas cut him. Adidas said, we got to cut ties with you, man. Can't do it. And they're losing money, right? Somebody came out and said this quarter alone, Adidas is going to lose like almost $300 million just this quarter, which means yearly. Kanye's, Yeezys were bringing in about $1 billion a year. And for Adidas to say, you're such a big problem, we're willing to lose $1 billion a year. Man, what does that say about Kanye, right? How bad of I don't want to say bad of a person, but how can I put this? Like, how big of a distraction are you to a company that they're willing to lose $1 billion a year so they don't have to deal with your comments? They don't have to deal with your PR issues, right? He made the anti-Semitic comments, then doubles down on them, comes on a different show and says, yeah, I meant what I said. And on top of that, also this, and this about Jewish people. Yeah, I don't know what he's thinking, man. He's losing money, right? Apparently he was worth $1 billion. Now with all these companies that have left him, he's down. He's there. Apparently his net worth is now like $450 million, which $450 million is great, right? I would not turn that down for anything, right? In a heartbeat, I'd take 450. But for somebody who was a billionaire and now to be kind of like half of that, it's crazy. Hey, welcome in, special guest visitor, Sir Knight. Thank you so much. Yeah, he isn't thinking. He's a big dummy. He's talking about Kanye. Absolutely agree. I truly believe that Kanye is a big dummy. It's one thing to make the anti-Semitic comments, right? And then it's another thing a week later, after you've already got backlash, to come out and double down on it and say, no, I meant what I said. And guess what? This, and this about. Here's the biggest thing that got me is he said, it's okay that I can say it. I'm okay because black people are like Jewish people anyways. We're practically Jewish. Huh. Okay. Like when I heard that, I said, black people are practically Jewish, so they can make Jewish racist comments. Okay. What if this was reversed? What if it was a Jewish guy that was making racist black comments and said, no, don't worry, I can say it. Jewish people are practically like black people anyways. Do you imagine, like, what Kanye would have said about that? Right? Let alone, the rest of the race. Kanye would have definitely said something. But yet he thinks it's okay for him to say, hey, black people are practically Jewish. We can... No, there's only a few black people that I know that are Jewish, right? Lenny Kravitz, Drake, right? Not you, Kanye. You are not Jewish. You cannot say things like that. And yes, sir, Knight, you're right. His shoes are ugly. I've never even thought about buying a pair of Yeezys. Not the tennis shoes, not the slides, none of them. I've never thought about buying a pair of Yeezys because every time I see a picture of them, I'm like, those shoes are gross. It looks like a 10-year-old made those shoes. It looks like a drawing. I'm a horrible artist, by the way. It looks like me trying to draw a shoe. It doesn't look good. It's not aesthetically pleasing. And from what I understand, or from what I heard, they're not comfortable to wear either. They're not comfortable. Hey, let me walk around in these shoes as I go out. No, I heard they're not very comfortable. So why the hell would people were buying them? Because they were Yeezys, because they were Kanye's, right? It just blows my mind. But yeah, I mean, he's made comments about Jewish people. Now he's making comments about, he wore the White Lives Matter shirt, which he got a lot of backlash for that, right? So at his fashion show, him and Candace, what is her name? I don't want to say the wrong last name. Candace Owens, one of those TV personalities. I got to double check. But they both wore a t-shirt that said White Lives Matter. I don't know why they did that. Yes, white lives do matter. All lives matter, right? I respect all human race, right? Like Sir Knight says, I'd rather wear Hello Kitty shoes before... For all my Hispanics out there, I'd rather wear those like plastic chanclas, right? The ones that are like clear through plastic. I'd rather wear those. And if you're Hispanic, you know what I'm talking about. Every little Hispanic girl's mom bought them one of those shoes from like Payless or something. Worst looking pair of shoes. They're plastic. They're see-through. They got like sparkly things. It's horrible. But I'd rather wear those shoes than Yeezys. Yes, I agree, Mike. I'd rather wear Hello Kitty shoes as well. But all lives matter. I respect all human race, right? All worldwide. I don't care what color, what race, what gender. I don't care. I respect it, right? But apparently, this White Lives Matter shirt has ties to a neo-Nazi group. That is the name of their group. They have a movement that's called White Lives Matter, and it's a very well-known group, a neo-Nazi group. So for him to wear that is, it was a little odd to say the least, especially when he was one of the biggest, I don't want to say founders, but the people that spoke out when it came to Black Lives Matter. He was one of the people in the front talking about Black Lives Matter, we need this, we need that. And now he's wearing the White Lives Matter shirt. He could have worn something that says all lives matter. He could have said human life matters, but he chose to say white lives matter, which is odd, right? So, and again, not that I don't like white people. That's not what I'm saying, right? I love everybody, but it was odd that he chose to wear that knowing that it has ties to a neo-Nazi group. Just a little bit odd to me. But then again, that's what the fuck Kanye is odd. he's so bad. Not only these companies cutting ties, but of course he has Donda Sports, right? That is a sports agency with Antonio Brown. Well, Aaron Donald, yes, exactly. Human life matters. Exactly, Sir Knight. But Aaron Donald and Jaylen Brown are under, or were under Donda Sports. Earlier today, they announced that they left Donda Sports. They cut their contract, which is the company that's owned by Kanye and Antonio Brown. And of course, Antonio Brown's just as big of an idiot out there in a public pool, butt naked in front of women and men and children. He's another idiot out there. And let me tell you something, man. I'm all about having fun and talking shit and, kind of, playing around. But there's few things you don't talk about, right? Especially in a sports locker room. Especially with a teammate in a sports locker room, is you don't talk about each other's wives. That's just always a no-no. You don't talk about each other's wives. Antonio Brown's out here making all kinds of comments about Tom Brady's wife. That he's the reason they're getting divorced and she's into him and Giselle wants Antonio. Antonio Brown somebody needs to chin check him because he's gone a little too far. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a huge Tom Brady fan. I'm not out here trying to stand up for Tom Brady, but as somebody who's played sports for a lot of years, that's just something you don't. I've seen a lot of fights in the locker room because guys talk about other guys' girlfriends, right? So it's just you don't. That's an unspoken rule. Unwritten rule. I'm sorry. An unwritten rule. You just don't talk about each other's girlfriends or wives. And that's what Antonio Brown's doing. And yeah, of course, Tom Brady's not going to go beat him up. That's not in Tom Brady's nature. Or at least I don't think it is. Who knows? But yeah, I'd like to see what happens with that. I'd like to hear a conversation between those two the next time they see each other or they bump into each other. Because I'm sure Tom Brady's going to have something to say to him. Because Antonio Brown's acting a straight fool. So, again, I don't know what person thought it'd be cool to have Antonio Brown and Kanye start a company together. I don't know who backed them. Obviously, they both have their own money, but it takes more than just their money to start a company like that. And I want to know what idiot helped back them up because you knew you were dealing with two crazies. Two crazies. Not one, two. Why? Come on, guys. But yes, Kanye, it's a matter of time before I think he disappears, right? Or maybe he needs to disappear and then just go back to music, brother. Forget the fashion, forget the political stance. Just go back to what made you famous in the first place, right? What made you feel good. Music, right? College Dropout. That was a great album. Go back to doing that. Right? We don't need to see all the other stuff. We don't need to hear all the other stuff. Nobody cares about your political view, Kanye. Nobody wants to know about your political views. Right? Just stop it. Right? If you're watching the podcast, I'm sure Kanye watches the Ham Podcast on YouTube, which, by the way, you can go catch replays on our YouTube page, The Ham Podcast. I'm sure he'll watch it on there. Kanye, just stop. Just go back to making music, my friend. Just leave it alone. Also, real quick, if you want to follow us on Instagram, you can go to the _H_A_M_ podcast, or you can follow us on Twitter, the Ham Podcast, _Ham_podcast. We also got that Facebook page, everybody, the Ham Podcast. Go check it out. And like I mentioned, our YouTube page, you can catch all our episodes on there. Past episodes, the Ham Podcast YouTube page. Amazing page, right? So go check it out. More clips, more stuff come. If you go to the Ham Podcast, if you go to the Ham Instagram podcast, you'll see that last week I went 4 wins, 1 loss on the UFC 280 card. That's right. I did amazing. The only fight I didn't pick the right winner was the Charles Oliveira fight. Very upset about that. From the moment I saw him walk out from the back when he was walking down to the cage, I immediately said, he's going to lose. That does not look like the Charles Oliveira that walked out his last 10 wins. I was like, he looks scared. He looks nervous. He looks like he's about to go out there and get his ass beat. And that's pretty much what happened. I did not expect that. I did not. I don't even know what to say about it. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. But the 4 fights before that, Aljamain Sterling, picked him. Shot O'Malley, picked him. The female, Finau, picked her. And I forget who the other one was, but I picked him. So I did amazing. Can't say the same for Mike. That's probably why he's not here. His picks were pretty bad. He doesn't want to admit it. He decided not to do the show this weekend because I'm just playing. That's not why he's not here. But yeah, Mike didn't have great picks. Poor Mike. But yeah, it was a great night of picks for me. Now, something else I want to talk about, guys. A little session that I want to add into the show, right? Is hit of the week. Team hit of the week. And this is brought to us, right? Just to give you a little background on this. This is brought to us from a high school here in San Antonio, Texas. YMLA. The player, he's a running back, and he's the lead blocker on this one. His name is AJ Campos, right? And so let's just go to play the video. Now keep an eye on him. He is the lead blocker on this. So check this out. You see number 20. There it is, lead blocker. And pop. Oh my God. Just depleted that boy. I don't even know what to say. I mean, look at it. Just take another look. Lead blocker. Guy comes in. Boom. Nope. Take it. Just go and lay down. Take a nap. Just sit out. And then to stand over him. Right? To have the gall to say, not only did I knock you on your ass, I'm going to stand over you and let you know I knocked you on your ass. Right? As you're face down. Man. I mean, I'm just going to let it play for a little bit, right? It's not a long clip. Sorry, it's a little grainy, right? But, I mean, again, this is AJ Campos. The kid plays running back. He also plays a linebacker on the team. So, high school here out of San Antonio. Amazing block. He had another one. I didn't get to load that clip up, but he had another one where he leads the block for a score. So, yeah, I mean, you can see it. We'll take one last look at it. Just pure nastiness when it comes to block. And then pop, see ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. And that's what it takes, man. When you've got to pick up a blitzer, you got to put your body on the line. And AJ did that. He put his body on the line. And, oh, my God. You want to talk about, what's the term? Decleated? Yeah, he decleated that boy. Sir Knight, that was a beautiful hit. It was... yeah, beautiful. I that's old school football to me. That's old school football. I'm here to knock your head off football, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Speaking of big hits, right? We're talking about big hits, and we're talking, when you have big hits, you can also talk about big body slams, right? A little bit about wrestling, right? One of the biggest wrestlers of all time, of course, is The Rock, right? Everybody knows who The Rock is. Dwayne Johnson. Do you smell what I'm cooking, right? Now he's a huge movie star, right? Everybody knows The Rock. Well, last night, there was a new female wrestler on NXT, made her debut, and it is The Rock's daughter. Yes, everybody, The Rock's daughter. So she made her debut last night, and yeah, everybody was stunned. Like, whoa, it's The Rock's daughter. Like, there had been videos of them kind of, showing her training and stuff like that, and everybody kind of knew that eventually that she was going to make her debut. But to see it finally happen on NXT, it was amazing. She goes by the name, let me double check. It's a little bit funny. To me, it sounds a little bit like a porn name, but she goes by the name Ava Raine, R-A-I-N-E, Ava Raine. That's her wrestling name. Yeah, so she's not a small girl, right? She's not one of these petite wrestlers. She's got some size to her, of course. She's The Rock's daughter, right? She's got some height. She's got some size. She's not a big girl either, right? She's not out there, looking all massive, but definitely a full-size woman, right? And she looks like she can hold her own. she's learning, right? So looking forward to seeing the lineage. That's a long lineage. That's a long line of family, right? That has been in the WWE. You're talking about The Rock's grandfather, then The Rock's dad, then The Rock. You're talking about all the cousins, right? The Usos. You're talking about Roman Reigns, right? It's a lot of people, man. And I'm leaving a lot of the family out that is a part of that family that's been in the WWE. But now you have The Rock's daughter. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where that goes. I'm still a little bit of a wrestling fan. So looking forward to seeing her progression, right? Does she make it to the big leagues? Yes, she's already in WWE, but she's in NXT, right? Which is kind of like their fundamental wrestling league. So a lot of big names have come out of there. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Riddle, right? Bro, he's come out of there. A lot of big names have come out of NXT and then moved their way up to WWE main show, right? Raw and SmackDown. So looking forward to see if she can do the same. I'm excited to see that. So good luck to Ava Raine, her wrestling name, right? Or as I think it sounds like a porn name, but that's just me. But good luck to Ava Raine. So see where her career goes and see if she can, not to put this pressure on her, but can she become as big as her dad? Don't know. Only time will tell. Once again, baby, I am live here on Twitch. Also simultaneously live on Facebook. So you can catch me on either or, my dogs, or as I like to call y'all, my little hamsters. Nah, I don't think y'all like that one, right? Maybe my little piglets. I don't know. Working on it, right? We're working on a name for our fans out there, right? I promise you, me and Mike are working on it. I don't think y'all like hamsters. My bad. I'm sorry, right? Don't hold it against me. It just came out. Okay. Quick little story here. So I'm on CNN, right? And I'm looking at it. Story came out. Small town in Iowa. This is a little crazy, right? Small town in Iowa. Young lady comes out and says, or not too young, right? I think she's in like her 30s or something. Comes out and says that her late father, right? Father had passed away recently, was actually a serial killer and killed about 50 to 70 people throughout his, I think she said the last like about 20 years ago, 25 years, that he had killed 50 to 70 people. And she even set a spot. She's like, there's this a well, right? A water well. I know sometimes my speech, not a whale as in like in the ocean, a well, right? A water well. She goes, he put a lot of the bodies in there. It's located here, right? This is where you can find it. She goes, I helped him dispose of those bodies. So now police are in that town, have an active, investigation going on. But here's where it gets a little weird. The older sister comes out and says, no, she's lying. No such thing happened. Yes, my father was strict, and yes, he had a bit of a mean streak, but he was not a murderer. My father never murdered anybody. I'm actually the older sister, so I think I would know if my father was out there murdering people. It's not true. She's making it up just to get famous. I don't even know what to say to this. Like, is this what it's coming to? That people are lying about murdering people, and people are lying about their fathers being a serial killer, and people are lying about this and that just to get famous? Now, police have not found any bodies yet, right? They said they haven't gone too far into the well either. That depending on how long ago it happened, the bodies could be, the bones could be, extremely, kind of sunk in and everything. So they're looking, but if this girl's lying, like, why? Why do you feel the need to say that your father, and by the way, if it's not true, poor him, right? I know he's passed on and he's buried himself, right? But he's already deceased. But now you're tainting your father's name by saying he was a serial killer, and if he wasn't, that's just horrible. Like, why would you do that? Just so you can get famous. Now, if it is true, wow, right? Let's play little devil's advocate here. If it is true and this guy did kill anywhere from 50 to 70 people, whoa, like, there's some questions that need to be answered. How was, like, who are these people that he killed? How were they never reported missing, right? Like, how did he get away with it for so long? Never got caught. Like, so I'm curious. I'm going to continue to follow that story. I'm very, very interested in it because, again, it's weird, right? One sister saying her dad's a serial killer, 50 to 70 people he killed. Then the older sister saying, nope, didn't happen. She's making it up. She's just trying to become famous. I'm very curious to see more about that, right? I am. I'm gonna put the link here. Gonna put the link here in the chat, so if you want to check it out, you're more than welcome to. Give me a second here. Yeah, I jacked that up completely. I'll get you the link, guys. Um, John Helmke being a big dummy. John Helmke trying to work technology when he knows he can't. Yes, so yeah, yeah, so crazy story, right? One sister saying her dad's a serial killer, the other saying it's not true. So it's a little bit odd. I'm looking forward to seeing what's really going on with that. So yeah. But yeah, moving on. I still can't believe I posted the wrong thing here. I'm a complete idiot. Yeah, so it's a bit odd, right? So, all right, well, moving on from that, right? Next thing, right? We've got all these school shootings, man. School shooting one after another. And it's just like, what's going on with this, right? Now we have another one that just took place in St. Louis. A kid shows up to a school, and this is a kid who graduated the year before. Shows up to a school, a 19-year-old gunman who killed 2 people, right? Wounded several others at his former high school. Left a note saying his struggles led to the perfect storm for a mass shooter. In his note, he puts, I have no friends, I have no family. This guy showed up with 600 rounds of ammunition. 600 rounds. Like, that's a lot of rounds. Like, I mean, it's sad that he killed 2 people, but it could have been so much worse. So much worse. Now, I'm not trying to take away from the lives of the 2 people he did kill. I feel for their families, their friends. I'm so sorry that y'all have to go through that. But this guy showed up with 600 rounds of ammunition. That could have been so much worse. Luckily, he didn't get to do more damage, right? Luckily, it was limited, and I say limited in the nicest way possible. Again, the most respectful way, but it was limited to just 2 lives that were taken. It could have been so much worse, and so for that, again, condolences to their family. But 19-year-old kid, how does this? I mean, 600 rounds of ammunition. Now, ammunition is not cheap, especially for something like an AR-15, right? It's not cheap right now. Ammunition is a little bit pricey. So for this guy to have 600 rounds, but yet he's got no friends, no family, like, where did you get all these rounds from? Where did you get the money to buy all of these rounds? Like, what's really going on, pal? Like, Jesus, it's just, it's not even safe to send our kids to school anymore. Like, what are we doing, right? As a nation, it's, why do people feel like, oh, my life's rough, let me go shoot somebody that had nothing to do with why my life is rough, right? Let me go kill people who have nothing to do with why my life sucks. Why are we like that as a society nowadays, right? And a lot of these are these younger kids, man. This next generation of kids, right? That think it's okay to do that. it's not okay to do that, right? It's not okay. I mean, hey, look, if your life is rough, I'm sorry. Talk to somebody, right? Get out there. Go to a therapist, right? Try to meet some friends. But it's not okay to say, let me just go shoot up some random people, right? And then you got this other moron, right? The guy who drove his car into the Christmas celebration, right? A couple years ago, right? Injured like 60 something people, right? Killed a couple, I think he killed like 6 people, injured like, or he drove his car into a crowd of 68 people. I think he killed like 6 people. He's been acting a fool in court. Today they found him guilty, right? He's been acting like a complete idiot. He decided to represent himself. He waived his right to have counsel. He was representing himself every day in court. He acted like a fool, staring down the judge, right? Mean mugging her. The judge even had to, like, you know what? We're going to take a recess because this guy's just staring at me, trying to give me the meanest looks possible. I'm not going to deal with this right now. You know, asking the judge at times, can I just go sit in the other courtroom? Can I just go sit? And she's like, no, you waived the right to have counsel. Now you got to defend yourself. Like, you can't go sit over there. You have to defend yourself. You're a part of this hearing. Oh, I didn't waive my right. Now he's, you know, and he was trying to plead insanity, and that's why he was acting like this. Nah, Papa, no. You don't get to. Before he drove his car in, he had just got released for sex trafficking. There's a video of him talking about where he had this girl, right, his girlfriend, and he had took her to Vegas, and his exact words in the video were like, yeah, I'm out here pimping her, she out here hoeing, and then she got caught, and she gonna tell the police that I was forcing her to hoe, and this is. So you're not insane, right? You're out here forcing people to be a prostitute. Then he got arrested for domestic violence, right? Got released on that. Now he's out here driving his vehicle into a crowd of people at a Christmas celebration, and you want to act a fool in court just so you can plead insanity? Nah, doesn't work, pal. It's not how this world operates. You don't get to act like an idiot and then say it's because you're insane. Nope, sorry, not buying it one bit. You're an asshole, you're an idiot, right? You deserve whatever sentencing is coming to you, right? Whether it's life in prison without parole, whether it's the death penalty, whatever they decide to give you, you deserve it because you're an absolute shit human being, right? I know earlier I said I love all human beings except for idiots like this, right? I don't like idiots like this. So you're a shit human being. You deserve whatever sentencing the jury gives you. They've already found you guilty, right? You deserve whatever they give you. I hope they give you life without parole, right? I hope they give you the death penalty, whatever it is. I hope they give you the max sentence. Plain and simple. I hope they give you the max because you deserve it. You deserve it. Like, I'm not going to lie. I was a little bit upset that the Parkland shooter didn't get death penalty, right? I was a little bit upset about that. That was sad for me. That's the only thing, you know, besides the families that have to mourn their loved ones that were killed. What was really sad is that he just gets to go sit in a prison now. He doesn't get to die right away. Nah, man, put that guy to the death penalty. You want to kill people? Now you get to see what it feels like. And let's make it slow for him. I am a firm believer in I hope I don't get a bad rap for this, but for certain crimes, hey, bring back hanging, man. They used to take, you know, back in the old Western days, if you killed somebody and you were found guilty, you were hung. Let's go. If you killed somebody, right, that wasn't self-defense, then yeah, you deserve to be killed as well. Let's make it painful for you. It was painful for the person you killed. It should be painful for you. I'm okay with that, right? That's me. Hey, whatever, right? But I'm sure that they're gonna have these guys on constant watch in prison because these other prisoners are not gonna take it easy on them, especially that Parkland shooter. They're not gonna take it easy on him. Right, so they're probably going to have him separated from regular, you know, from General Pop, from Gen Pop. So Hey, look, it is what it is, man. I just feel like if you do the crime, you should get a time that fits. And if the time happens to be something severe, hey, let's do it, right? Bring back the electric chair if needed, right? Let's go with the electric chair. Let's go with the public hanging, right? I guarantee you somebody gets hung. That's going to deter some of these people from committing murders. They're like, oh, well, I don't know if I want to get hung, right? That shit looks like it hurts. I better not kill somebody today, right? So, because what we're doing now is not deterring people. Oh, wait, I get to have my own room and eat 3 meals a day? I mean, yeah, it's not the best place to live. It's probably kind of shitty, but I have a roof and I can, I get 3 meals. I get sleep, right? Yeah, maybe I got to watch my back, but I'm famous enough to where they might put me in segregation and not have me with the regular general population, right? Yeah, okay, I'll take my chance. No, they're not afraid of that. No, they're not at all, right? You'll hear a lot of these criminals talk about it, right? I don't mind going back. I call it 3 meals in a cot, right? Let me go back to 3 meals in a cot. I'm good. I get to go see my homies again. I still got homies, like, right? They're not afraid to go back to jail. They're not. Right? So, what are we doing wrong as a society? Why are we not deterring people? But yet, people who smoke marijuana get locked up for years. Speaking of which, Brittany Griner. Russia declined her latest appeal again. They're still upholding her 9-year sentence. Look, man, I know that I talked a lot of shit, but I feel for her a little bit, right? She's still fucked up. You still shouldn't have took, that into a country that is at odds with us, especially while they're in a war against another country, right? Ukraine. You should have been smarter than that. But at the same time, it's like it was oil, right? She had hash oil. Now they're talking about, nope, you're going to keep playing, you're going to keep staying in here. We're going to uphold your 9-year sentence. And it's a political thing. They're trying to keep her until the U.S. does something, right? So only time will tell. Wish her the best while she's in there. Hopefully she stays safe. We'll see what happens. But we got to do something, man. We're out here locking up people for weed, while people who commit murder are getting locked up for 3-5 years and they're out. And I mean, look at the thing that's going on with Cain Velasquez, right? Former UFC heavyweight champion. His kid was getting molested by somebody at a daycare for years. Finally, the daughter spoke up and said, "Dad, this man's been touching me." They make a report. They let the guy out on bond. He's molesting kids at a daycare. They let him out on bond. Cain didn't like that. Tried to shoot him, missed, right? And shot the guy's stepdad, right? But he's still alive. He shot him in like the shoulder. The guy's good, right? But now they have Cain locked up for attempted assault. I don't know, with a deadly weapon, with no bond. They won't even let him bond out. He's not the one that was molesting kids. He was defending his daughter. But this judge is gonna keep him in jail without the chance of bonding out, because she's gonna say that he's a danger to society. But yet the guy who was molesting small kids at a daycare can get out on bond? Come on, man. And is walking the streets right now, by the way, is out freely. But the father who defended his daughter cannot get bonded out. They deny his bond every time. Something's wrong with the society today, people. Something is wrong and we need to fix it. Plain and simple. We need to fix it. All right. I'm going to end it on that note. Once again, I want to thank everybody who joined me today. Big shout out, episode 45 of the Ham Podcast. It was a great episode. Thank y'all all for joining me. Looking forward to seeing y'all again this weekend. UFC Fight Night, Calvin Kattar versus Arnold Allen. That's going to be a hell of a fight, right? If you have Halloween parties this weekend, stay safe, party safe, right? Don't do anything dumb. And if you do, don't name it after me. Don't drink and drive out there, people. Stay safe. Want to see you back next week, right when we have our next episode of the Ham Podcast. So till then, I want to say I love everybody except the idiots out there, right? But from the bottom of my heart, thank you for joining me tonight. And just remember, it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. Thank y'all once again. Everybody, see y'all.